out, so you have to.
We'll call our budget meeting to order tonight. Our chairman is not here. He's actually in the hospital. We do have a quorum though. Have any volunteers that wants to run the meeting? Do y'all want to appoint somebody to run the meeting?
Well, if everybody's gonna step up, I will. I'm gonna do that.
Somebody nominate for the meeting.
I'll volunteer.
There you go.
All right, sir. First up, the county clerk.
No, I'll move.
Hello, Budget Committee. Let me introduce Dinah to y'all.
Okay.
I've always wanted to use one of these microphones.
Raise it up just there.
Tilt it back.
Raise it up a little.
There you go.
Well, you're so serious, Randall.
I know you're gonna be full of fools, so.
Oh, come on.
There you go, son.
This is Diana. We spent a lot of time, on this year's budget request. I'm just gonna turn it over to her, and then when she wants me to jump in, I will.
It might be sooner than you think. You'll notice that there is an increase in our budget, but there's a really good reason for it. We've discovered in the last audit that certain things are needing to be added to our office to make it more efficient and capable of helping those with audits, and also with legislative body being able to research previous resolutions or such. And so I guess what I'd like to explain to you is that if you'll notice, I kind of highlighted some things here on my copy about some improvements that we would like to make. But I think I ought to start by telling y'all something about something that we have in our office called title funds. It was discovered during our last audit that we were under the assumption that title monies is something that is given to or was provided to us through our title fees of $3 per title, and was to be used for the processing of titles or the convenience of our customers to make titling and registration easier. At the end of the budget year, if that money is unexpensed, it was not to be turned over to the general fund. Well, in talking with our auditors and wanting to meet their regulations and those things, we have learned that this money would be designated as restricted funds, which would allow us to supplement in our office areas where we do produce title expenditures, such as in our supplies and office equipment and those things. Well, with that being said and done, we've turned over in the last 2 years, because y'all might not remember this, but in May of 25, we spent $6,500 in a new workstation that was provided by these funds. That did increase some of our expenditures, and if y'all want to talk about those, we will. But what we've been able to do is determine that at least $7,500 a year could be used to supplement our office and office supplies and computer furnishings and those things. And then we thought, well, you don't ever want to decrease your budget, right? We proposed to add line item 317, if you'll notice here, for $6,500. And what that is to update our minutes processing that could be really beneficial for the commission, for audits, for the whole county as well. We're even looking into a matter in how we can help in archives and different things like this. This program is designed so that we can minimize how our minutes are produced. digitalize them and make them available for research. An auditor came to us this year and said, we need to know about resolution so-and-so about when single alcohol drinks were passed. Is that what she said, Robert? Something of that nature?
Yes.
Okay, so unless she gave us a date of the agenda about when she thought that it passed or anything, that meant just flipping through each minute's books. This also will help us reduce the cost of our books. Our books are running about $800 a year. We're supplementing, I guess what I want you to understand here is that we're supplementing the $7,500 in these other two line items to ask for $6,500 in a new line item for processing and data.
What is the program you're looking at?
Okay, well, we're talking to 3i Vertical about, it uses OCR. It uses, we can convert our books by scanning into a PDF form, I believe. And by using OCR, you just basically research it like you can online when you're looking at a particular article and you want to find out where it highlights, whatever it be you're looking for. And so if we needed to find a resolution about a particular item, like this was single sales of alcoholic beverages, you plug that in and boom, there comes up your resolution to talk about that and give us whatever information that we need. But too many times people are needing to research the minutes and it's not possible, especially if you need to go backwards. And we believe that we can go backwards for quite a while.
And we spend a lot of time in the mayor's office, so we have to pull out agenda books from prior year and go through each one. So if we get like a record request, if commissioner wants information, we don't have that just, on hand to know. We don't have a tool in order to look up that information. So it does
This
need a
is that
lot
tool.
of multiple departments' time.
Well, aren't those minutes in Word?
No, sir. They're in a book.
Is it in a book?
What you get is a digital form of it that can't be researched.
Okay.
Something they're hard to find things.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I mean, if you need to go back 10 years, it means,
I stressed this years ago that this should have been solved years ago, and it was always, let's talk about it next year.
That time out there, went back to 78 years. So, I know 317
mhm.
and 435 are basically going to be paid through these months.
No, sir. What we have to understand is that we are, on our restricted funds, we can only pay for those things with that money that is used in the titling and registration of a vehicle. But we can supplement with that title money, these line items, line 366, I believe, and 435, we could supplement those and free up money for another line item.
So this is not shown in the revenue.
No, it is revenue. It was, don't correct me, it was held in another account,
Mhm.
but they need to actually, so they're gonna be reporting it into the trustee's office instead of holding it in a separate account.
Monthly.
It will not show in the revenue that we'll turn into the state.
Yes, sir. But
Is
just
this
like,
budget year?
yes.
Okay.
So what he was doing last year, some of the amendments that we had during legislative body was we had that special line item called titles fees -1. It was to help track that for audit. But after discussing with my auditor a little more thoroughly, those should be just like every other revenue source turned into the trustee's office and reported. However, they're restricted and they'll go on my restricted balance sheet during fiscal year closing to track. But she's got these, or they have these two line items to where as long as they make those TCA codes for the intended purposes, which have to relate back to titles, that's how we'll track
Yeah,
that.
I guess, but they're showing in the revenue budget.
They are now. He's just
This
now
year
turning
they
it
will show-
this year.
How much?
They
how
show
much was it
roughly 15.4 is what we're projecting for the close of this year. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about you first.
Okay. Well, then Robert can better explain this because it has to do with his bookkeeping.
Our bookkeeping is old as a dinosaur. It's just bookkeeping. That's it. pen, pencil, calculator, balance. I'm projecting out of this that we would go into, and I'm requesting a part-time person, the same company that supplies me all of my computer assistance is going to set me up where I'm going to be doing my bookkeeping that way. I'm going to part-time person come in, help me and her get everything set up. It's a learning process of how we're going to go into doing it just totally different. And then it's something that needs to be done a long time ago. I'm probably the only one that's not doing it this way. Everything costs money.
I think a note there.
And of course, we're interested in getting her involved because it's a part-time position. We're going to learn, but we want her to learn to teach us, because there's times that you come to my office and all I'm doing is answering the phone, waiting on people, and I can't do anything else.
You already got somebody in mind?
Yes.
What was the difference in the raises?
Are you talking about from last year?
No, you got one thing, you got another one twice that much.
Tell me what you got.
The reason for that is that across the board, I mean, we're just looking at other offices and we're figuring, I'll be honest with you, my salary is fine right now. I'm comfortable with it. But then I look at other offices and other employees in our same office that when the budget was originally assigned for the secretaries, it's just, my honest opinion is that it's just not quite fair. The rate of pay, I agree that this commission and that the county has done so much better since I've been working with y'all for about 6 years now, that I've seen a great improvement in that it can always be improved and you can't have it if you don't ask for it.
You're the deputy.
I'm the deputy. Yes, sir.
Well, just for the record, and I didn't say this when you sat down, but the raises, we're going to revisit at the end of the process.
Okay.
So
Yes, sir.
right now,
Understood.
that's in there.
Understood. I just figured if you don't ask for it, you don't get it.
You're quick.
All right. But no, I'm happy.
You got you full-time right now.
Yes.
Right.
And
And
me,
this-
and me, I'm 1.5.
That's
I
true.
don't know, I've been stretching.
That's true. But now, this is our projection for what it would be at 6 hours, 12 hours a week. We're not positive that it would take the entire year, but that would be the cost for a year. But it is necessary for someone to learn the scope of this new program that we would be using, because like Robert said, if you sit down to do something, somebody comes in, the phone rings, some other office needs something, and you want to accommodate them, there is not room in our office for a learning, a learning structure for somebody to be set down and learn how to use this. So the need for a third person to be able to do that on a part-time basis, not indefinitely, will allow us to learn how to use it as well. And it's going to help with audits. It's going to streamline so many things.
And our auditor made a comment that he's probably one of the last in the state using pen and paper,
Right.
It's,
I don't doubt it.
and I'm sure that the time he's spending with.
And they're
it,
always balanced.
You got room in your office?
Yeah. Yes. It's part-time, so I mean, if nothing else, they'll take my little nook.
Why would the temporary make more than the full-time on an hourly rate?
Well, it's, if I ask for the dollar, then that would make her 21 at that same rate. And I mean, even though it's part-time, it is a knowledgeable, it takes someone with knowledge and experience and understanding of the whole program, because it will be dealing with how title money is, a title costs $19, but 3 of it's for this and 550s for that and this, that, and everything.
Okay.
The person that we have in mind is already familiar with all of that. she understands how the
Of course,
breakdown is.
that would have been April.
Yes,
If I can get her back, I'd like to get her back. Because she's got so much past experience with the office and she already understands.
well, she would understand the expenditures that are involved and how they're broke down so that she would be understandable of how this ledger works.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right. You're done. And all those in favor of the budget, please. I'm sorry. Do we have a motion to approve this budget on a temporary basis? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. No? Ayes have it, so you're good. Right now.
You know what?
Check it out.
Yeah.
Nice.
This one.
That was better than I thought.
We're gonna deviate from the agenda just a little bit. Will the school system, Moore, will you please come up? The floor is yours, sir.
All right, after that, well, I'm Scott, I was here last time, this is Ms. Kelly, the assistant director. You wanted me to go back and, look at our budget, talk to the comptroller, and see what it's gonna take to get us to that percentage. And that percentage is what they said it would be 370. And the response that she gave back on her email was, a distressed concern is less than 8%, and a slight concern is 8 to 15%. Last year, like I said, we moved 1.1 million to fix it and got it to 8.2, under the understanding that we would try to get to 8.3 in the next budget. And it'll be 370 is what it was. But I'm the kind of person that, you know, if somebody's asking for help, I don't want to help them unless they're trying to help themselves. And we've got a lot of well-educated people down there. I'm new, but they're not. And they go to trainings, they go to conferences, they have meetings with core consultants. They have office hours every month, and they know what's out there. And I just want to let you know that we're doing everything that we can to get as much money and move as much money. And I want to give you some examples of that. Right now, we have 13 grants for various things. Some of them are used for supplies, materials, renovations. Some of them can supplement salaries. We're looking into all of them. We get a lot of information about grants. We search out a lot of information about grants, and we have a lot. We had an ISM for 1.5 million. It can only be spent for certain, what grants work. They can only be spent for certain things. But we're looking for grants that can supplement salaries, and our federal money, it supplements some of our salaries and stuff too. But I'll give you some examples of what don't work. Is Miss Robin just applied for a grant. And I'm telling you this because, like I said, if you don't want to help people, it's not trying to help themselves. And Ms. Robin just applied for a grant. They've got some of the school systems have got buttons on the emergency buttons now that they're wearing in the school system. I don't know if you've seen it. It's been on the news and stuff, but we got $8,000 grant. We qualified for $8,000. Well, it costs $30,000 for each building to put it in there. So we can't do that grant. There is an electric bus grant. We have been talking to them. They have office hours, once a month in Skelly? And an electric or gas bus costs $140,000. Electric bus is $430,000. And electric bus, we try to extend our buses for 15 years. $140,000 bus, we try to get it to 15 years because you can extend it as long as it passes safety. Electric bus, the batteries will not last 15 years. The batteries are 130 to 150,000. We can get electric bus. We qualify for that. 75% and 25%. So if you do the math on the 75 and 25, and then plus we would have to provide the charging station at the bus garage, which is 30 to 50,000. I've talked to over in Paris, and Mr. Rick and Miss Kelly is more familiar with it than I am. But their power company wouldn't even let them do it. They had to redo their grid or something, just put in the chargers and stuff. And the buses will go 80 to 90 miles flat around here with the hills and up and down. It's going to run your batteries more. Some of the long routes and stuff, we might not even be able to use an electric bus. We wouldn't want to take no long trip for athletes. But I just wanted to say that I don't want you to think that we're not trying to help ourselves. We got well-educated people down there that's been doing it a long time, a whole lot longer than I have. And we are trying to seek out ways to get our budget where it needs to be. But you asked me to come back with an answer, and we have worked with the answer. Yes, sir.
There's been, needless to say, there's been a lot of discussion with the commission.
Right.
If we do the 370 this year,
Mhm.
you got to have to come back next year and ask for some more.
Well, I know
I'm not
that.
holding you.
No. I understand. Me and Miss Kelly are going to be good stewards of the county's money, and we're going to try to save and cut. We have cut this budget. I don't know, 500 something thousand just to start the year, less than what we were spending. I mean, we cut 271 out of that 1.1 million that we moved around last year's budget to make it work. And we're going to look at ways, we're not going to rely on the county year after year. Can I promise that? No. I know that we're going to spend $203,000 on textbooks this year, and we don't have a big textbook adoption next year. So we could probably, we would still have to keep $80,000 something, but there's a big chunk of money right there for just science books, $203,000. But we hope not. We're going to try everything we can not to.
Commissioners I've heard different scenarios, things that they suggest. One being if you sell the property,
We're going to do that.
you give that to the county as payment to offset some of the money. Another is just give you the 370 this time. Next time if you have to do something, it'll be a loan,
Okay.
no interest. Some of them it said it's a loan this time. I think that the bottom line is, I think
Reoccurring.
the county is going to help you on that.
Right. Well, we don't have a problem. I've talked to some of them about selling that land. There's no reason for us to keep it.
Well, the other thing was someone felt like that I talked with, they said, well, let me keep the 100,000 because they need the money now. That's what you get out of it. So, and that would offset something. in the
Right.
coming year.
Right. If you get that for that.
Yeah, they still got a payment on the line. a little bit.
Yeah. And here,
So you would,
we just
We have
completed one.
53,000 on the line.
so basically you sold it for 100, you only get that 40,000
Right.
there. That's not worth talking
Right.
about.
But it'll start bringing in tax money and it's won't sit there and make it not used. And then, like I said, a couple of years down the road, we'll be done with the high school payment and we'll be debt free then. We've just finished a loan for the lighting. We paid it off this year.
That was a good move. Wood.
Very.
All right,
But we just want to make sure, we're diligent and trying to.
I don't think anybody's questioning that.
Mr. Moore's defense on the school buses. If you watched the news last night, Murfreesboro, a lot bigger city than us, their school board voted not to buy buses. 3 buses and 3 or 5 routes. And now they're saying one school is elementary school, kids are going to have to walk a mile and a half with the transit. The school board, to get back to the school board, they said that the school is actually not responsible for the transportation to get the kids there.
Well, you don't have to.
There's no state law that
Yeah, that's
requires
right.
transportation.
That was the reason, and they just didn't have the money to buy buses.
Yeah. Well, something else with the bus deal.
Like to do that.
Yeah. Something else with the bus deal is, electric bus also, you have to have a field mechanic, and you can't even work on it yourself.
I
So,
don't think the way the bus is working.
Not in this county.
Your match is gonna be what a gas bus will cost.
right, yeah.
That's what
Have
your
to
match
pay
is, so you better off with a gas bus.
But I just wanted to let y'all know we're researching everything, and our people research, they've been doing it for a while. I mean, they're aware of a lot of different grants, and like I said, we got about 13 right now, for different things, but, some of them just don't hit the stuff that we really needed to. But,
I personally think our school system needs to be bragging on for what you've done the last couple of years.
yes, and, you know, we're looking at doing some stuff, we need to get some of the stuff paid off first, but, I would love to be the one to get our grades up, which they already are, if you've looked, and, get our instruction better, more solid there, and I would like to be the one to, get the air conditioning in the gym and things like that, that's been neglected over the years, but I see now why they've been neglected. The money's just not there to do stuff like that. And we're looking at some grants for getting facilities done, but a lot of them are matching, and you have to do so much, and, you know, it's just not affordable right now. But, you know, down the road, I would like to try to tackle some of them projects. I mean, you go into other school systems, and they got a lot of nice stuff. And
I actually talked to TVA yesterday, and they are gonna come to the table with a package that they can bring your air conditioning.
oh,
They told us, they actually sent us an email this morning. They're gonna help in the courthouse here and the school.
and I don't know, you know, I was just a teacher then, I don't know the dynamics of it, but, you know, somewhere down the line, they said they had a couple air conditioners for their elementary and middle school donated by Train. I don't know if that's true or not, but, you know, that never was. If we had them donated, we tried to get them in.
I think they're gonna
The school facilities will hold pretty good shape.
Some of the schools are, some of them ain't. Aaron Elementary, we're working on it. They still got a boiler system down there. We're still paying high dollar insurance and repairs and stuff on that. We're about 4 units away from getting rid of the boiler system. Yeah, that one end was. Tennessee Ridge is really good shape. I encourage all of you to get out to the schools and look. It'll help y'all, and I encourage our school board to. And I think we're gonna start having quarterly meetings at least once at a school, and then next in another school each quarter. But we're gonna have monthly, but one of the meetings, and because if you're gonna vote on stuff, you know, you need to be out there. I encourage the county commission anytime stop by the school and let the principals walk you around and see. We've got some good stuff going on. This ISM grant, you know, it's $1 million to the high school. We're fixing to start the structural systems. There's kind of glorified building trades back. Hopefully we can have some certifications where people, when says they get out of high school, they can go straight into the workforce. We're going to build a storage building up there, some concrete. We're also redoing the shop. We're also, and it'll pay for some salaries for that new teacher that's on it for a year. We're going to get a greenhouse with that, another greenhouse, good program. Mr. Kinkinnon does a great job there. And the other part of that ISM, we're putting into the middle school to spark interest to try to build our CTE program at the high school with different programs. It might be criminal justice, health field, things like that. So, and we're using the stuff. We're just, like I said, we come in at a time where last year the comptroller come in, so we had to be a certain percentage. I think it was with the county too, right? Y'all had the same, so they never.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Miss Chris had never dealt with that before. They never called it, you know. So, but it was a struggle. I mean, we had many meetings to try to get it, and we fixed it last year. We fixed it to where it was acceptable, in the acceptable range. And we tried to cut and get it to that acceptable range again. And that's what it ended up being.
Do y'all have any 120-day contracts?
We have a couple hundred, yeah.
Yeah, about 3.
Who or what for?
One of them manages our ESSER and our ISM grants, more like a grant manager.
One of them does intervention programs. She works with the elementary schools to do intervention program, but that position, one of the positions we're cutting next year because she's retiring, so we're not gonna fill that 120-day contract for next year.
And we've looked at stuff like that too, when people retire and how we can move people around to get our money.
What's the third?
We have a teacher at the high school, Mr. Bell. He came back on a limited day contract to assist when we had another math teacher that retired and moved into a different position.
And we had another one, but she's moved into an interim teacher. And then we have a, Mr. Charlesworth, we pay part of his salary. So, and that's all. That's all that
How
we
many
have.
teachers certified right now?
No, sir. It's hard to get,
I knew,
but-
I understand was hard.
but I can tell you this, and it's a problem everywhere, but we're very blessed right now. We have people wanting jobs. It don't matter from the custodian all the way up to administration. We have people wanting to work in Houston County.
The few that we have that are not certified are in the programs required by the State Department. So they will, yes, so they will have their certification within the year.
They got a college degree, might even have some education, but they have to have so many hours above that. Will they be certified when they finish that, or will they not be?
No, they'll
No,
be
they'll be
certified.
Will be certified.
And some of them just have to take a test.
Yeah, some of them just need to take a test and some have a few college courses, but it's no greater than a year.
There's waivers and permits. There's different for both, but we try to hire all certified teachers. But I tell you, with the ones that we hired, it's always done a great job.
Oh, yeah.
Great job.
Well, I said, I never got to have some,
Mhm.
but
Everybody does.
Their attitude is still a class.
Everybody.
Our candidates at least have a bachelor's degree in an unrelated field.
And these all have bachelors.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank y'all, and I'm sorry for miscommunication.
There's only two of my comments, everybody up here,
Who's that?
everybody in the audience. So I don't know if we can read mics on.
I don't think it's happening in the mind. It's got it, but you do better try and count them. Somebody speaks, just to make sure the mind gets, but that's.
Yeah. Next up, we have drug enforcement. Sheriff? Okay.
This is a little bit different for this young man that's up here with us tonight. This is Jay Hart. Jay Hart was with us, been a county employee for probably just right a year, a little over. Jay Hart would like to tell you something before, you know, of course, everything you read on Facebook ain't always true, so I'll let you hear from the people's mouth that is leaving. Wait, Jay, and tell them why you're leaving.
So my brother was killed in a car crash in September. A drunk driver hit him on the wrong way on the interstate, killing him and my nephew. That was in Wichita, Kansas. He has other kids, so I'm going out there to take care of them. And I actually wanted to make sure you guys knew that if that hadn't happened to my brother and my nephew, I'd probably retire from Houston County. It's a great department. These guys are awesome. I haven't had a partner I haven't learned from. We train together with the jail. When we're on the road, I have a philosophy. Every one of these guys will tell you the same thing. We can argue and fuss about stuff, but if you're in a fight, we're in a fight. We're coming. And that's really rare to have with a group like this. From the higher experienced guys to the lower experienced guys, you've got guys like me that all run feet first into a drug bust. I love it. And then you got guys that are like phenomenal investigators. And you don't have that very common everywhere. And we all feed off each other. There's not a number from that section over there that when it goes off on my phone, I don't pick up for. And it's the same for them. I trained with him, I trained with her, trained with him, and everybody not here today. We all have a great synergy.
We've asked him to come up here when you know that the door's open once he gets home. And hopefully he get these issues settled out. He has a place to come back to if he wants to. He's done that good enough job. Out of most to leave, come back. And like I said, he worked more than here. He was highly decorated in the military, and he was an action combat veteran. And I'm gonna miss him. I think his county's gonna miss him. I know his work people's gonna miss him. But this will be the last county commission meeting. He'll get to see y'all. And until if he decides he can get things worked out down there, or maybe even move that family here.
That's the goal.
So, but it's open to you if you want to come back, and I want to thank you for your time and everything.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it, Jay. Okay, I guess you want to start in the one-on-one series. Is that where we want to start out there? 14.
54, 150, drug fund.
Yeah. I mean, this one. There's a little discrepancy in the drug fund, but we've got it worked out. When we got it, it was showing $20,000. Well, it's not $20,000. It was $93,000. And it just took two ladies getting together and making it right. So not everything is passed through the table through the first time you come up here is correct. But it got corrected once it got to the sheriff's office and people put eyes on it. We talked to Mr. Lowry and got the actual thing on it. So it's not $20,000. Some of these ladies have a whole lot of budgets to look at, a whole lot of numbers to look at. Not just talking about mine, but everybody else, and mistakes happen. But instead of calling us, it was, brought out to $20,000. Well, it's $93,000 to the sector there. So that's your correct growth.
That's how much you got.
That's what we got, Mr. Lowry. And on that drug fund, if you'll notice on the account numbers, they might not reflect the same as yours because they all reflected the same. Every line item was the same. I don't know really, we've never done that before, but those have been changed up to cover different items in that line item. If you ask me how much drug money is here or how much tires we bought or whatever, I can refer to that just like the rest of the budget. There again, we feel like that was a typo before it got to us. Two ladies got together, they got that worked out. So that's everything is down there correct now.
What line items were y'all having issues with?
It was the like the 105 and 332. They all reference, I believe, 105. Is that right?
Okay. Yeah, we just use chart of accounts. So however, and that's, that's across every budget. So.
Well, it was kind of hard to tell if every line item reflected the same. And I'm not sure.
No, you're fine.
I was feeling like we've never done that. Was not showed to me to ever do like that. If you've asked in gasoline, they shouldn't all reflect the same. So we put it back to where it is. And
I didn't realize there was an issue because last year, 122 was missed. And so I just pulled what was submitted. So.
And we couldn't table, I think, without a drug fund last year.
Yeah, so we got it this year and we got everything covered.
And then we just had to change and add a few
Sure,
more
sure.
lines.
Yeah.
That
Not a
was-
problem.
What is your gasoline right now, Kevin?
On the drug fund,
Yeah.
oh, let's see,
$3,500.
$3,500.
Is that the actual number then?
That's the actual number, yes, sir.
And since y'all's audited revenues for prior year after audit, is that where y'all pulling that 122 at, or is that just revenue for this year? That total?
That's the actual revenue with all.
That's
Jimmy
for like
got.
this year, got it, okay.
I think they do it every year. They make
Yeah,
allowance.
yeah.
If we don't, we don't use it every year. I don't never remember when we didn't use it every year. But we might have, I just don't remember it, but yeah, he keeps pretty good books over there, so. Is there anything else on there, Mr. Glenn, about the drug?
No, sir. Anybody have any questions?
These can only be, yeah, for items that associated with problem with drugs.
Yes, sir.
How much are you getting in now, Kevin? Not like it used to be, I'm sure.
If we knocked out the military money, would you well to say that we haven't taken in military money in several years, you almost ain't got a drug fund money.
That's what they did.
That's the first thing the courts waive, drug fund money. First thing, and that is on record. But, you know, we run our military money, actually, Sheriff Allison before me done that, was very smart in doing that, and I just followed suit with him doing it, which protected the money. And anything, if it's not a reoccurring expense, anything we could use to combat drugs or terrorism, whatever we can use out of that. Still, up until today, now if something changes tomorrow, it might be tomorrow. County ain't never bought a first patrol car for the sheriff's office since 2014. And all that money come out of that, plus equipment. But.
All right. If there are no other questions, I'll stand a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Drug fund budget is approved. Next up, we have the SRO budget.
Okay. About the only thing that, we're looking at there is the, 425 is about halfway down the page. Now, is everybody located there? The 30,000 on fuel, the best way I broke this down, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. We broke this down with $6,000 a car on fuel. Now, the state on this grant, they want to know everything about that car, everything ticks about that car. If my car is in Tennessee Ridge and I have one there in elementary, everything goes off that VIN number of that car. That officer's equipment, that officer's gun, that officer's pay, everything runs to that right there. We're getting fuel. Mr. Fred come up and said, why don't we look at getting a tank for them? Well, even if we get a tank for them, it's hard to, let's keep a log. It's hard to keep up with fuel. So in other words, if you want to know what Wembley's fuel bill was versus Spencer's, it'd be hard to, do. So what we're looking at, being the state paying this bill, let's put them on like the gas boy card or some of them cards like that, that identifies that officer, that identifies that car, that identifies the fuel percentage going through. Then when it comes to us, if we turn it into y'all, everything's already pre-tallied. So we know now by the commission, or most of the commission, our grass bill's gonna be higher for these guys. We got the money to do it because they're gonna go out of town to every ball game. The other day on Saturday, everyone we had was out of town on different ball games. And so, you're going to see some fluctuation in some, going further, some not. But if that's what we think is the safest way, that's what we'll do until further notice. But there is going to be some expenses. But I feel like right now the state will assume those expenses. If you come and you say, well, I want to know what you Spencer again. How many tires did Spencer go through? How many sets of tires he go through last year? Why is he going through more tires? Because he might be on the road more, going out of town, et cetera, et cetera. I like to break it down just like we do the fleet. Then that way, if I know if you pretty rough on one, if I put 2-3 sets of brakes on one car, I'm going to start watching that car. Somebody's not treated right, the way I feel about it. I just want to be able to give you an accurate answer instead of being all lumped up. And when they done this grant, that's about how it was. There needs to be some modifications. Right now, it don't look like it's going to be anywhere in the future. We talked to the lady that was running the grant before she got transferred or went to wherever she went. And she decided this is the way everyone in the state would do. It wouldn't be so bad if it was our county, if we was paying them. But our sheriff's office wasn't financially able to fund them at the time. But state's still paying the bill. We got plenty of money when it comes to the state. And ain't costing us nothing. Their salary's paid, their vehicle's paid, their fuel's paid, so why not go with the card? I think it would be a lot easier for my assistant and George's assistant to get that pre-calculated up when it comes in every year. That could be easier for them. It's just having to pay tax on it.
Is there money calculated in this budget for retention fund?
Yes, sir. It's in our 101. It's
Okay.
that kind of, Ms. Fred, covers all new officers, not just SROs.
Kind of different, who pays the bills, though, isn't it?
It can be a handful when you see how many different budgets that we're handling now, but once you get used to it, and I would say that the ladies have been working good with it, we haven't got a ding on any audit in 7 years, or no, 6 years, not one. Not one audit finding. So she's happy. We're happy. Yours always, I think that, they didn't get this, so so we're doing something right. But that retention fee falls under this other budget. We'll probably, I'm sure, we're gonna get to that.
How's your ball? Has that been working okay for you?
The ball game?
One of the games and stuff?
Well,
Having trouble keeping cover?
yeah, yes and no. I still have my reserve about it. But that was the wishes of the commission. I explained the liabilities, and so did the county attorney. However, they're not home. They're never home. Now you're looking at working 5 days a week. That's one thing. Then on Saturdays, you're at ball games that, so you're working 6 days a week. They're accrued in time, but they're never home. I got 2 brand new kids. How that can go sometimes, but they haven't said a word. They're not keeping right on going, but when you do it,
build a comp time for the summer, ain't it?
it can, yes, sir. It sure can, yeah. And once they get the time built up, or if they don't get built up, we'll allow them to work the road, and the state of Tennessee still cuts that bill. We still don't get that. But if they do have that time, they go home. But vacations and things like that, it's hard to say, like in the snow through the winter, how many snow days the school will get, how many days will it be out, or say the plumbing goes out in the school, they'll all be out. But so far, they're working pretty good. We had an incident the other day. I thought they all performed wonderfully. Homeland Security thought so. The Highway Patrol thought so. So that's enough for me.
Well, going back on the cars, Kevin, are they all holding up okay?
Yes, sir. On average, I think less than 70,000.
Yeah, about 65,000 is what they got on.
But if you have to buy some, you can still use this program to buy one. You can buy just one or something like that, maybe get a newer one.
The only thing that I bring to attention this board, I tried to bring that night. We bought used cars when we should have bought the new cars. If we'd have bought the new cars, we wouldn't have had to send all that money back. But some on the board decided that we needed the used cars. And I know they're trying to save money. We bought the used cars and we ended up sending it back. But the used cars that we get come from Missouri. They come with a warranty still left on them. They come with 50,000 miles. They don't get smoked in. They're not damaged or nothing. So right now they're doing that. But when you look at the money that we send back, if we would just put a little bit into this, how much was the new car versus what we give the used car? You had it down.
I don't remember the exact figure. We turned in 31,000. And if we had bought new cars, we would have turned in any money.
It wasn't that big, it wasn't a big difference. We get what was 25,000 for those. But we get the card.
Where you at this year, Kevin, as far as? When does it have to go back in if you've got any excess?
It'll be at the end, and right now, regardless of what's been told, we do have 4 officers. We've hired another one. He comes from Badville, brought him up here and introduced himself. He lives in Clarksville. We're lacking one officer. Now, when we started this program, we didn't know we was gonna get 5. We was mighty blessed to get to 5. This county, we never thought we'd get 5. We was hoping that we'd get 2. Well, we looked at that 5. Well, the 5th one is down at our alternative school where they might be 1 kid, no kids, or 5 kids. We figured we'd use that person for a pivot person if somebody was sick or family was out or whatever. And it worked pretty good. And until I had the first guy go back, he was military retired and prior officer, and it just wasn't for him. And he went back, and it's hard finding these people because it's hard to put a road officer in that scope. They have a whole different demeanor about them. You gotta like to be with children. You gotta like to react with it, and the teachers. And I think it's a lot better program this second go around since the governor turned it over to the sheriffs and it's not in the school's hands. No more in Houston County does SRO drive a school bus. We're at the door doing our job. And it's turned out real good. Sid the other day was textbook. I really liked what I seen the other day. And they work together. And the good thing, most of them are from here. And I got road officers that wouldn't go to the school for it. And I got some at the school wouldn't go to the road for it. So it's working out pretty good. But if I had one more in the state, I'd have it pretty good. I'd have it back to where it was. But we're doing pretty good without them right now because we got a lot of children in the alternative school and they're alternating it and doing pretty good.
But you do have a 5th one in the school, though, is that correct?
So
You do have a 5th one in the school, is that
I
correct?
got 4 in the school.
No, I mean, you've got the 5th one. Is he going, he's not, you haven't got him yet? then?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, and when we get on the one-on-one side of things, Mr. Glenn, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about that. And it brings some more light to this SRO thing.
Anybody have any other questions?
Well, the question I asked, are you gonna have excess money this year?
I'm sure.
You don't have an idea right now.
I say we're looking at least 150,000.
There's not things you can spend it on that might be associated with it.
And I mean, they come to the table with everything every metropolitan department got, no matter what you're told. And I mean, we get outside these grants. I mean, if they're strict enough to figure out what gas is going in one car, you better bet they're gonna be watching what you're doing with that money. Oh, I love to have enough. I think before it's all over, I don't know, I'm just studying or just telling you some things that I'm hearing from the Sheriff's Association. One day this grant will be vamped. I mean, you know, in 2026, we're gonna have another government come in, it's gonna happen. What's gonna happen if they're gonna start taking that money away and putting it somewhere else? That's $375,000 we'd have to come up with. So, and it says that in that grant. This don't mean this is forever. But we ain't advertised, it's not, we're not looking.
So the one you've not filled is not very much interest out there as far as people coming up to the table.
That's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like having a carpenter trade and being put as a machinist. You know, you want to work, but you kind of like that. Not everybody wants to do that. Now, I will say the ones we got out of the 2 that we got, they come to the table better. They're playing coach. They're doing coach work up there. They're playing with the kids to the point that they're coaching their ball teams. And working out pretty good for us. I was a little skeptical on the end of it, but it's coming out real good. Glad to see them be that. A lot of them go, they put in their 8 hours, and If they get off at 3:05, they're at home at 3:12. Seen them kind too.
Would help if you paid more money.
Would it help if they made more money? Why, that'd help anybody.
All right.
Yeah,
Might as well get 101, huh?
I think it would. Yeah, we'll get 101, we discuss all that. I'm open
All right. All right. Anybody got any other questions about the SRO program, the audit, the money, et cetera? All right, we'll stand a motion to approve this budget. Is there a second?
I say it.
Motion to approve has been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it.
Mr. Brown, 101, sorry. That's sheriff's, yeah.
That's a grant, right? That's our,
Yeah. So that's.
Yes, sir, that's it. I always call it 101.
Making big money.
Yeah. Well, it has got better. We've got some more money on grant.
Next up is the special patrols, THSO. That's a grant, right?
Yes, it goes grant.
Highway safety officer.
I make a motion to keep that.
Well, while we keep trucking, I'll tell you on that, we're up to $10,000 on that instead of $5,000. That goes more to the deputies to get out and make extra money, and we can buy some anti-drug, anti-alcohol signs, homes, trailers, whatever. But it's going to help supplement the deputies' income from $5,000 to $10,000.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Uh,
Those opposed? All right. Next up is Sheriff's Department 101.
Yeah. All right, 101, of course, number one, that state set. That's really no bang at the table. Glad to get it. Appreciate it. The 106 under that, the Sheriff's Department deputies. Now, I've asked to go to 11 deputies plus the $15,000 comp, 2 or more if they get that. That's $93,074 more than what we're paying now for the 9. As you can see, I just lost one, or he's soon to be gone. You take him having kids, COVID, getting sick. I had the one to bust his back. He was out, all summer long. It's hard to get out here and do this. We've come to the time I feel like if one deputy is not near enough to go out to these calls, after 3 o'clock in the morning, there's only one deputy in this whole town, counting your city and all. One. We're having to call them get up, and we've always done that. With the influx of people that has come in due to work for the new factory and everything, our population is gathered, and if we went to the 2 board deputies, that would take us up to $93,074 more on the 2 deputies' salaries.
Question, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Would those both be road deputies, or would one of them be applicable for you to use when you have court? Down here?
Well, I mean, I can use them anywhere but the school. I mean, yeah.
You know where I'm
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
from.
right, yeah.
Him some help, so we got 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, sir, that's fine. We can move these officers about anywhere we want to other than school. Now, to go to school, you gotta have different training. But, anyway, other than that, as far as working in the courthouse or helping bailiff, transports, whatever comes up, they can do. The sheriff before I have done the same thing. We've always had the for nickel around. Anything on that? I would like to temporarily go skip the 140 grant. That's the next 2 lines, and go to the 170. That's the sheriff's office SRO. Everybody located that? Okay, it is different than this, and let me tell you why it is different than this. Now, I've talked to the school superintendent, I've talked to some of the board members with the superintendent's office and some of us. This grant is so strict. If you don't work that grant, you don't work. The sheriff is over it, but I can't pay him. For example, for the kid that come up here and told y'all, he lost some wages because of some, he wasn't paid on time. That's what he was trying to tell y'all, and it really put him in a hurt locker because he was out of sick leave and didn't get the money. And it was worked on very vigorously to try to get him that money. But nevertheless, that happened. If we hired 2 SROs of our own, then that would fall under control of the sheriff. We could send them to that SRO school. They could work part-time in the schools. They would be directed by that sheriff. And this is the exact, I think, I don't know what Jay and some of them, until we get this grant worked out, I'd rather have 2 in the schools 3 to 4 days a week than I had none at all. And then you could use them for a deputy, you could use them for like what Randall said a while ago and all that. But every time we take station up here, for whatever reason, it's always an SRO thing. Now, y'all know I'm telling the truth. It's SRO is the school. I think all people's important when it comes to protecting them. You at home and you and the children in school. But we had beat this for a year, and ain't one meeting that you'll go back and watch. And I don't, what are you going to do about these sisters? I do what I can do. If they don't want a job, I keep hiring them. But if we can get them like this, and let me tell you this is where we come up with this. If a trooper, state employee, or a retired TCRS individual retires, from no matter where they retire, they got that retirement, they get a 180-day program they can work. That don't go against their retirement. Now, when it gets close to getting into their retirement, they go home. We try to find another. So if the colonel himself walked up here at this table and wanted a job as SRO without this right here, with 40 years experience and the top man in the highway patrol, we couldn't hire him. He wouldn't be qualified. Does that make sense? Because of the restrictions that the state's got on it right now. I hope they change that bill soon, but I don't look for it. But the only way that I'm going to give some of the commissioners is what they're wanting is that we're going to have to look at doing this. And, a lot of these agencies that you see today has got a great sum of these SROs. They was paying this program years ago before this ever come up. Dixon was in it for years. Metro, I don't know about Metro, but Chattanooga sure was. And they had a big enough budget they could pay it. And
do you see us having a problem getting them on this program?
Part-time work?
Do you see it an issue?
I would like to think it ain't a problem. I tell you, most people retired is just about tired of the program. When you retire, but to get a little extra spending money, I would say that you'd have some. We've had troopers come to the table and help us all summer on the road, but they're not going to get in trouble with the retirement much. But
We've got a commissioner, judicial commissioner, that's.
has to do that with it. Yeah, it's not a bad program, but we'd have control of it. Yeah, we'd have to send them to go, and I might have to pay for that out of the sheriff's money because they'd be ours. It wouldn't come out of the state, but I think it'd be worth it. And I put 2 in there, I'd be satisfied to get more. But I don't know. I'm telling you, and respectfully telling you, some of the requests of the commission is hard to You can't go out here and make people work today. I don't care what it is. And it's the same in this field here. You either got it or you ain't. So, you know, we don't pay a bad wage of what we're paying now, and we still not, you know. But let me tell you this, it ain't all about who's running the show either. Some of these people, like Montgomery County, the sheriff, I talked to John up there 2 weeks ago, he's advertising for them too. Got a fleet. Cheatham County, advertise it. Metro, advertise it. It's constant advertising for these people, especially in the schools. And you sure ain't getting them anymore on the road. I mean, I think Highway Patrol's looking to hire 110 here in the next 3 months, just troopers. They'll be happy to get 50. And of course, we all see this in every trade we've ever worked. All of us here work a different trade, every one of us. Keep getting up. But that would be something to ponder around. I've asked for 2. I'd be happy to get 1. And I probably will advertise and try to get that person on, but they can only work so many hours. They can do. And then again, they can work if they're not doing that right here in this building or any other building. But you know, you take our high school, middle school, I'd say every school in the system, it's big enough for 2 here.
I would like to ask you, I don't know, I may be jumping the gun on Sheriff.
No, sir.
We need somebody in courthouse all week.
If you do.
And I don't know if it's in the budget or not, but I would like to ask the commission to look at it.
I know.
It is.
It's in there.
Okay.
What
I'm jumping the gun.
No. Actually, that gun has been cocked and locked up from way before we come on the set. This is, I don't know, back in, well, I'd say maybe not the 80s, but tonight you started seeing a turn of things then. When you look at the money that what these people take in these offices, I can set my watch on some of them that get kind of scary because they take, people don't believe in paying a check no more. People don't pay, they carry cash. And you know, we got a disciple out of the hallway year before last. Robert Brown will tell you, he got a guy out of his office with a machete, called us to get him out of. Now, why would you need a machete to come get some license plates? Unless you're going to cut the prices of one. That's happening in your courthouse.
I noticed it in the courtroom more yesterday than I have in a while. Big docket yesterday, lots of people.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, poor Mr. Ray, he does a great job, and I don't mind telling you, as long as I'm here and he can make it up here, he'll work here. He's great, but he can't aid them. He can't run that metal detector. People come out here and sit in this crowd and get up in the middle court, go outside. God knows where they're going. If they go out there and get a gun and come in, your office ain't going to see it. It's going to be the last to know about it. And
he needs some help.
You know, we've got a plan about locking doors, and some of the circuit judges have come aboard, and the DA, and by the fact, I don't want anybody up there hurt, but this right here, it all being real, if it happens before 12 o'clock, you're gonna get 1 deputy, 1 sheriff, 1 city officer. Going to respond to you. That ain't saying a whole lot of things popping up here. That ain't counting people walking out of this courthouse to the cars. We don't know who's in town. You don't believe that? Come out right on Friday night or Saturday night. It's out there. We don't know who's moving in here anymore or who's visiting. But that would be a good thing.
If we do that, then that person's gonna be in the courthouse.
Yeah. He might not be the same one, but you will have somebody here the 5 days a week.
Probably the same one.
Well, I just don't want to get
Just
too,
a question. I mean,
well,
because to me, it should be the same here every day, and that's the only place you work.
well, if you use the same person, sometimes they get complacent and stagnant and they want to lay an office here and there. I like different fast. That's what we do to school. I alternate that school out because I don't want everybody to say, oh, so-and-so is the best school officer we ever had. I alternate them out. These kids and these teachers need to know every officer out there, just like y'all do up here. Well, you know it, there'll be a friendship bond, and they'll be eating cake and somebody's office every day, or not being seen, and I don't like that kind of stuff.
To me, though, it would be your employee, but the mayor would sign and say, look, I need you to do this, this, and this one here.
Well, I mean, it'd be about like school.
I mean, that's the way I look at it from different.
Well, when you look at the resource officer, yeah, I'm in charge of them. Most of the time, if proof comes out and directs one of them to do something, and it's logical, that's one thing. Now, when I say logical, hey, when you go down and secure the north end of the door, not drive the school bus, those are out. But I don't have to get involved with them. They go to the school board, and we got them holding security at school boards now. I don't want to take a chance on the school boards no more. You'll never know who's gonna walk in there and have an issue. But different places not bad to keep something from,
I see justification taking that as long as we're courthouse would be assured every day, 5 days a week, there's a body here.
But that's what we plan to do. We plan to do that. But now Jordan needs to come out and say, hey, I cut Patsy's office and up there at the top, somebody
Well,
didn't look
that's
right.
all I'm saying, he would kind of,
Yeah.
you're not here,
Yeah,
somebody's kind of got to watch over.
be no problem. I don't care what office. If somebody in the office don't feel cut right with the customer, then, we can send them where they need to be.
I noticed it more, I mean, I'm not going back to that, but I noticed it more yesterday, Monday, yes. But we got a metal detector here. That metal detector ain't no good if there ain't no cops in there.
Mhm.
I can walk out there and make it go all right now.
Yep.
And
And then they come right in
they
here.
come right on in, so.
Somebody needs to be on that. Even if somebody used the restroom, Mr. Brown, they need to be checked before they come back in here.
We just need this, of course, with the things that you're talking about doing, closing these two doors, it would make it a lot easier. So,
The two side doors, at the, on the second floor.
That's what I'm saying, it's not these, we can't lock these.
now, but you can't do anything about the handicap. But you can knock this side door and knock this from here and that come in the front.
That will start happening.
Yeah, or downstairs, that way we can route people through.
They've only got one, well, they got two entries, so we can't do that.
No.
with that hand.
Kind of.
You got anything else you want to bring up, Kevin?
So
You got anything else you want to bring up?
Just-
Bring to our attention?
I would like to have two of those, but if we done one, I mean, you just, y'all hear as much as I am. Y'all know what I'm hearing up here every time we sit in a commission meeting about safety.
Yeah.
And it ain't only, I'm not taking anything with the scopes. Scopes are important, but the people who work in this courthouse and have to come to this courthouse and serve a jury, and the people who live in this community, in this town, is just as important to me as we don't pick and choose. We go to where we need to be. I think it'd be money well spent.
If you have excess money in SRO fund from the state, can that money be paid, used to pay an SRO that's county? I can't tell the difference. In other words, you're only allowed 5 SROs.
One for school.
Yeah, it's one per school, and then they give that lump sum, and then when we do our budget, they know exactly where that money's going from. They're gonna audit you, anytime you get anything from the government, they're gonna audit you a whole lot harder than what they say they do.
I just worry about it.
Oh, if I could, I'd be gold, I wouldn't even have to ask you for it, so, I could put y'all on that.
I figure what you're saying is one.
All your SROs, you got full equipment and everything.
They got full equipment, good cars, they got everything.
What about the uniforms here? You're gonna have to put some new uniforms.
Yeah, we're gonna put some new uniforms on them this year because most of
Now,
that,
that's your road deputy, so what if
school
you
place. Because I'm trying to spend out some of that money.
Well, now this would have to be from SROs and his food.
Well, no, but I've got to get some uniforms for them too, but not,
All right, well, this one here will be for your road deputy.
yeah, yeah.
So you will
Which one did you move down to?
What? 451.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we went down there.
Sheriff, do the road deputies now have foul weather gear, cold gear?
No, sir. That was, gonna come up and, we're about to decide, but look here, we've come to the time that when it's 5 degrees and it's sleeting and snowing, a deputy should not have to go home and put on duck hunting gear and deer hunting gear to come out and work this road. We do not furnish their shoes. We have never furnished them a winter coat. What Humphreys County, that's what they said over to us. And it's come time that we start taking care of them. Now, you go over at the county office or go to Miss Teresa's, they don't come with their clothes. They don't buy their own rakes. They don't buy their own equipment. And we need to get past that. Just a coat and a pair of shoes is $500 out of the boys' pocket. Other earnings. And I'll sit right here and watch the agency get jackets, coats, might have been on grant, might not have been. And probably embarrassed Mr. Glenn to death with the auditor out there. When I asked you ever heard anybody had about it, she liked to laugh us out of the building, didn't she not? She did. Now, we've come better than that. It's a lot of money that's circulating around. I don't understand. I asked you about the impact money, and I know what's going around. There's no reason why our policemen are walking around and having to wear camouflage, rubber boots, and the stuff that's not reflective to get out here and work a wreck in 5 degrees 0. They don't get to go home. And it looks bad, it is bad, and we're better than that.
Well, I'll ask again, though, is that $10,000? That's what
That's-
you're gonna use?
that's what we're Yes, sir, that'll be their winter wear, their summer wear. They still wear, they wear Class A's, which Class A's is tied to funeral and things in the courts. They wear a Class B uniform with coats, shoes, gun belts.
Any kind of uniform.
That's not gonna get you a lot, though, is it?
Give me better than I got.
And then the guns and so forth, you can take.
Okay. The guns here, if we go to them, now handguns, we've got enough, we bought 10, but if we add on, we're gonna need a couple more handguns. Over half my fleet don't have rifles. People we're dealing with now is in the rifle age, now the SRO still following that. Spencer made sure they had the best of all of that when we got in there. But our road officers are not equipped with, they're not all equipped with that stuff. And some of them, well, I can afford them all when I bought them all, and I'm not gonna be, until they call me, I can get, but some of these girls and boys can't afford to buy that stuff. But, that's what that is for, Mr. Randall, that's some of it, yes, sir.
Any other questions?
We'll look back on that, Glenn. If they use it 3 years, we traded on new stuff, as long as, and it is took care of, we get a pretty good price for it, traded for ammunition and newer stuff come out. The stuff that they're carrying now is just about a year old, so we're not, that's just not discarded, we do that like our cars, we get money out of them on our trade-ins for our next ones. Most departments do that.
Is the 2 extra bailiffs on here, or are they
I think they're coming up in our jail budget, sir,
Gotcha.
which I think that's what we're gonna.
Anybody? Oh, okay.
Make a motion to approve.
This is next.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Yeah.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the budget as is. All those in favor? Those opposed? All right, budget passed. Next up is the jail budget.
Are we being taped over there? Is that camera on there?
Sir?
I wonder if that camera's on. Oh, it's not. Huh?
You need one on?
No, I think that's still working, so.
Yeah, she just
I'm
started.
sorry.
All right, jail.
Yes.
Next up.
All right, we'll move to the jail budget. I haven't asked for the increase in the deputies because y'all done them real good for last year. This year was all about the jail. I'm asking for my jail administrator to look at the $22 an hour. That would take her up $3 to $4 an hour, $3.80. $3 an hour. The bailiffs would go to $18 an hour.
That's the one you're gonna get?
But I hope so, yes, sir. Be up to you. The part-time people, $18 an hour, that's your work crew. That's Keys Mail. Somebody take, Mr. Keys Mail's retired here lately, and I haven't hired anybody for that, but that would hold that position. And that would also put in the $15,000 comp time if they run over whatever, what we're doing now, but we can't continue to pay $14, $15 an hour. When you look at the rates around us, we're 3 to 4. You can't even pay Dixon and Clarkson. But I've got good people, most of them back here in the audience. They're worth it. They fool with people that nobody else wants to fool with. They get talked to. I've got one young man back there I think a whole lot of. He don't work for me now. He went to a place that they had more people to protect him. Had both his eyes closed and a concussion. In a matter of 10 minutes, hadn't been for the other prisoners, probably killed him. Because they had one lady in the tower that couldn't come out of the tower to help him. Because nobody leaves the tower. Somebody's got to shut it all down. Time the deputies get there, it's bad. And we're getting them kind of people. And he's here tonight. He's working in Harpers County. They ain't no hard feelings. I think the world of him. I wish I still had him. But the times of running these people that we're bringing in with two jailers, we can't keep on with this. Somebody gonna get hurt. Well, he done got hurt. He put up a good fight, but we're restricted in a lot of areas, but I miss him. And like I said, he went to a place that they put him on floor 4. Now you think about that. You're out there by yourself. Ain't nothing worth getting teeth beat out of your head. But anyway, I've asked for increase in jailers. I've asked increase in the pay. This lady right here has one of the most important jobs is running that jail. You don't think running the jail ain't a headache. She catches it all the way around, and really, it's $22 an hour is a bargain. Everybody else around her is still cutting. If we paid her that now, it's $1.50, $2 on the minimum to what we're paying her. Well, we're not full.
If you had everybody you need, how many you got?
What we have in Barber is 12, 14 that we can do.
12 is what we have slotted for, and that's bare minimum.
That's what the state says we can bear minimum.
14, 12, what? 12.
That's what you're asking for again.
How many did you ask about?
10.
Yeah, so two more. Okay, and their wages now is
14 to $15 an hour. Nobody makes more than 15, I don't think, is it?
You're asking to take them all up.
Well, they might not all start at that, but once they get their probation in,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, I like
Taking
it,
to what?
18, yes, sir.
You're asking basically $3 raise.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't know, we might still have a problem finding with that, but that's a big start. What you see back out here in the audience, most of them are sticking and stuck with us. And some of them have left and come back numerous times to get their bills caught up and come back, and I'm glad to have them.
Bailiff, if you've got a part-time, Kevin, what was that, it comes up here, runs the prison?
Where you at?
That's
Park crew.
That's like
No.
King's Mail.
Part-time goes,
It's part-time bailiff.
no, part-time. and then work crew. Well, yeah, I know, but
It's supposed to
it's
be.
just right out of line. It's part-time work crew.
So all these are at the jail, you're not talking about.
It's got two bailiffs added
It
in.
just ran out of line. It's right
One here,
He's got the mail right here.
one to transport.
For part-time bailiff.
That's way more now.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you wanted it the other way.
Yeah,
That's
I did too.
crazy.
Because you see, you have the same
Yeah,
qualifications.
because I don't have.
Can you carry gun?
Yes.
Yes.
You need that.
We
You
may be,
need one person here for.
Huh?
we may be better off to bailiff.
Then I can live with the.
Well, he's asking for two.
Two.
Board especially.
Okay.
Somebody lays out.
Is that on the next line?
No, that's added in 160.
Take that detail.
Yeah, that's the next line, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Deputies.
Okay.
And the bailiff can give you another deputy. Before they got a home.
So he's asking for two bailiffs, two bailiffs.
If there's got cases up here, we can do that, but
No.
not
One
cases.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is you got a bailiff up here, you're asking for two. Is one of these supposed to be the ones that can be here all the
I
time?
don't want to stay here all the time. And if one has to do a transport from court to back to the county, that's what they're doing. If they have to go off somewhere and pick up a prisoner to bring to court to take back after court, they do that. If somebody lays out of the jail sick or whatever, they take that slot. Just a pit
For this eight other bailiffs, one has got a job, there's no problem with that. For your other bailiff, though, you got enough work to keep you busy the other 4 days.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just odd jobs,
So, you figure 2 or 3 days, you look at 3 days up here.
have to, days of court.
Yeah.
They're too short in the jail now.
And if somebody wants to lay out,
No, this is bailiff just for working.
but you gotta figure, she puts 12 on the floor, take one of them away, take one out of what the state.
Your bailiff you're talking about has nothing to do with these for jail, jailers here.
No, they're separate,
That's what I'm saying.
but I can cross use them for,
Yeah, okay.
because if you go private security up here, what you're gonna get is a headache. You're gonna,
We don't.
if it's armed, if it,
Don't even know.
if you're an armed guard, you have to go through a process, you have to go through a training process to be an armed guard in Tennessee. Is that correct? How long is that?
2 days.
Huh?
2 days.
And then if they don't work for like a company, like a contractor, they have to bear that liability. If we do it this way and run it through the sheriff's office, they would be everything that transport officer would be, armed, everything involved as a county employee under our umbrella.
And he'll fall under your insurance and everything.
Yeah.
We don't want crap.
That should be a number.
No.
I know they're guards, but to me,
I don't
that-
think we have one.
What is the bailiff in the circuit court?
I don't know, but that, to me, that should be.
Sheriff.
I just like, okay. Okay.
I mean, we have to do more, okay.
I didn't see that. That's fine.
What else you want to bring to our attention, Sheriff?
Well, other than the medical, it's gonna come to the same. Now, we did ask to separate the psychological evaluations. I don't like waiting a year to see if somebody's fit for duty. I want to make sure when they come on the set that they can pass the psychological.
Right.
So we've asked to put that on, it's on line item. That way we can keep up with it, not only for the deputies, but for the jailers and the two bailiffs.
Right.
But other than that, rest of it is that like that buddy contract, you got them monitors. Now, the chairman told y'all the other night, it's something I want to clarify. The work truck is not the sheriff's problem. The work truck is purchased from the sheriff's office by the county. I furnished the prisoners. To make this work program work, we've got to have this buddy system and you've got to have a vehicle. But that vehicle don't come out of my budget. Now, you can buy it from me if I've got one, that like that truck was, we'll try to find one. But that's on a county, that's a county thing. The only thing we do with that is we give them a place to work out of, the streets has an office to work out of, and we furnish the prisoners. Now, if one of you call or anybody calls and say, please work my area, I'll do that part. But contracts and everything, of course, goes through the mayor's office. And if he has a place that needs them to work or any of the rest of the people, all you gotta do is call and I'll direct them that direction. But if we're gonna keep that litter program, that litter grant, I didn't want that to get messed up. I didn't furnish that truck. Y'all bought that truck from me just like we bought others. Like Stanley's truck. I would like to be set up to help you. I would help you. I'm not set up. I don't have that kind of vehicle. Most of mine, I get the miles I can, then I set them, get what I can out of them. I've never had to ask you for no vehicle money, and I don't want to start now.
That truck here is a problem now.
It's getting pretty old, about 280,000 miles. Got a lot of convict work with it.
Talk to you, buddy.
You might want to wait.
I think the sheriff and myself has got a meeting about this Thursday morning, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Thursday morning.
It's not on its last leg.
We'll know.
It's a good program. We don't need to go away.
If we ever let it go away, Randall, I don't know if we get it back. I don't think so. And down there where Stephanie and William them live, I don't know what's about down there, but they pick up the most garbage in that area. Don't trash area.
I think we'll know next Tuesday on that though.
Well, I hope, as I said, my buddy called it heart failure. I don't see anything in here that caused me heart failure. I hope it don't cause y'all heart failure. Yes, they made some mistakes when it first started coming out. But they in office up there got the adequate help that they would like to have to make things work. And I got two that's working good. He's got two that's working good. But a lot of times for things said, if they was just looked at instead of said, it would be a lot better for all of us because not everything said right. And we've always turned in money if we can. If I can't, I can't. The way everything's going up right now, I'm not going to turn in a whole lot of money this year because the meat and stuff that I can stock now prepare us for next year. It's not coming down. Groceries are going up. And, we're $100 worth of eggs every morning. And, it didn't used to be that way. Car parts, well, our air conditioner parts we found out today is back hard to get again. Wow. So.
What about the surplus stuff? Can we ever get back on that program?
I would certainly hope. I don't know in my time that I'll see it. When it first came out, it was great. all you have to do is have a reason to get. Now there's a whole lot of stuff that you really have to jump through a lot of hoops to get. Now, not being political, just gonna tell you the fact of it. Public there, we had pretty good progress with it. Democrats take over, we have no progress with it. And all the stuff that was left over for the Taliban could have been some sure, and you know, I'm sure some of it gets misused. That's the problem I followed suit with the sheriff before me, and I think he followed suit before him, and wouldn't you say, Spencer, it's got real hard now?
Very hard.
You've got to really be able to justify it.
But they still have stuff.
They still have stuff, but it's not like you used to. You can pick up the containers, you can pick up 100 of them a day. Now, if you find them, they're tore all to pieces. These military trucks, pretty tough. It's just a lot tougher than but as time goes on, maybe they will lighten it up. But it's a saver. All you do is give them back, taxpayer back their money. That's all you do. Just in a different way.
Okay. Anybody else got any questions? Comment on the jail one time. We did have somebody look at your roof the other day.
Yes, sir.
They haven't got back. Thank Mr. Richardson. He's the one that got a hold of these people, and we got them down here, and we actually found out today that our health department will be covered under the insurance.
Awesome.
They will cover that, so that's probably $30,000-$40,000 savings.
Right now, we got some air conditioner issues. It was about 70 degrees in the front part for the last 3 days. The part might have come in.
Original units.
No, sir, no. Everybody had, every sheriff had, they probably had 3 up there the same brand. We shop economy, so. I think the one on one side needs a belt. I think it come in, another needs a board. We put a new one up there, or actually you put that up there 1 year or 2 ago. But it's hard to find this stuff now. It's really went up. How much was that air conditioning unit that we just priced? 14,000 without having a crane or anything to set it up on the building. And
Are you needing an air, are you gonna have to have?
well, I put it in there.
In this budget?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've separated everything. I didn't understand about, well, it's in another file here. It's like we talk about this county building, and we need to do this. Well, that's county building too, and I didn't know if you wanted me to clog up a budget with that or just be separate. Because some of this, we can sit down and say, I can do some of this year, let's do some of this next year and do like it. But right now, I'm in great need of 6 door locks. 6 door locks. 24, 26, how much?
Right at $2,500.
$2,500 a piece. And there's 30 something in there. Well, actually, we haven't used keys like old time, it's working. But some of that, and with the permission of the Lord, I'll probably get with Joy and show him this, and then Rachel can send it out to everybody. But it ain't something we have to get all at once, maybe a little at a time.
6 lots of 2,500 each.
Yes, sir. And then,
Is that air conditioner, is that 336?
No, we didn't add that in.
Oh, you did not?
No.
Oh, okay, I thought you said he did.
see, we can't. This is where it comes to your office, kind of looking like, and Rachel can send it out to everybody. And then when we have law enforcement, we can talk about some of these. With the flooring out there, it's been on the floor for, it's built in 2001. Carpet's ragged out, terrible mess. I'd like to get some of that fixed. we're hoping that roof will fix the whole roof. We don't know if that other part's leaking or not. Won't know until we get this flat part fixed.
You think we got it, we'll try to do the prices right.
Well, without doing anything, the guy come and looked at ours was at 75,000 now. He has to take the air conditioners up and put it. The air conditioners fall down and like, it's just built up and, I don't know if they'll have to take him off. I would like to think not, but you don't know. But then,
His bid 75,000.
that was our bid, not yours. And, Mr. Yoder came out there and he might have been a little cheap.
He hadn't given us a bid yet, but he said he would get back to us this week.
We'll have to advertise that.
It will have to be bid out, yes.
Yeah, but that's,
That gives you an idea what's going to come.
I think Yoder will be cheaper.
You'll take care of it.
see, we've talked, and I didn't know where, I hate to cover up the budget with all this stuff. And when you know,
It didn't need to be in the budget, we talked about that today.
Is that a list of the things that you
Yes, ma'am.
identified, like the needs work on the jail?
it is.
Awesome.
Which
We
is,
have a few quotes that I've already got it.
Great.
this one here is correct.
Yes, that's,
So
Some of that stuff is staggering.
that's all right. We start looking for, we're always looking for faults.
I can send you all the quotes and email, so you can have those too, that we've already looked at.
Any other questions?
See what you need.
Make a motion, we approve the budget with 2 SROs and 2 new pedals.
Is there a second? Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
What about the deputies, the 2 deputies, does that not count them?
Well, it's already on there.
Okay,
We were going through that.
okay,
That's not guaranteed, because it's just the first.
I get it.
We're getting the next one, that's all.
Has 11, right?
Mike,
So it's on there.
well, not the sheriff's budget, but when are we gonna get sheets that have the revenue on it? Usually we have them first. I'm just wondering.
Not since I've been employed, we haven't. Again, we're gonna still work on property taxes. So once that's done, we'll present all the revenues. And then you'll have a master file with all the revenues and all the expenditures, and you'll see where it balances. And you'll need to approve that before it goes to legislative body.
We can't really approve the budget without the revenue.
You gotta find out what the pennies were.
You know, we're gonna have a all.
Probably the end of this week.
We're
It's
done.
my goal. We've got audit in-house, and that's kind of priority right now.
On impact money, are we still good for that TVA was gonna help, was it like 480,000 for? are we still-
787,000 is what we got last year.
For 4 years?
We hopefully it's 10 years.
Well, even at that, that's on top of our tax, I mean,
It is, but we're pumping it away. I can
I
promise you,
get,
we 140 something thousand 911. Had a school problem here. The list is pretty long.
Jail problem.
And we got, I think come November, we can, if the commission approves, I think we can work on some projects. We don't need to spend it all 1 year. But we need to work on some of these problems. Because I think we can find the money to fix one air conditioner. I do.
And we're working on planning. So the last 2 years, we've worked with most all of our departments. Anything that they need, we've identified what they need urgently, what they needed within 1 to 3 years, 5 years, and then a 10+ year. Because if not, in the middle of the budget season, we have emergencies. We have how many generators we've needed in the last 12 months. How many roof repairs have we needed? How many AC units? Those things, if we know in advance, each department's looking for those, we can actually purchase better by using those state contracts from other states and state of Tennessee. And we can bid that out to get lower rates, and that would offset, or hopefully our tax money that we're using for that. But that goes back to better planning, which again, we didn't have time, we did it last year, we missed it this year, and we'll be reaching out to the departments to kind of know these things, so we can help all try to lower the cost of those.
Well, that jail, which everybody knows, it's probably the highest liability of anything in the county. And I didn't get it in that bad shape, Mr. Allison, and took care, him and JoJo and staff took care of it pretty good, but some of this stuff is worn out. And if my time comes to pass it on, I'm gonna pass a better product than what I got. And now we've got freezers, we've got refrigeration, we've got generator. We've done a whole lot of the major stuff.
Yeah.
But, when state ever decides to walk in and say, I want them 40 beds, that's where it's gonna hit us. That could be at any time. I just wanna keep it passing inspection, keep that from happening. And no, they ain't nothing in writing on that. That was told to us in the county commission meeting up here when CTAS came up here. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen. One of the smoothest ones I've had in a long time.
Sure, yeah, though.
Are you gonna help me with my bills at home, Brent?
I would like to say something to the commission, come out before we leave, before we adjourn. Our attorney will have the park contract in the morning. I'm gonna email it to y'all. I'd like for y'all to look at it by the end of the week. Please let me know, yes or no, if you approve it. We need to put them to work. They should have been down there 2 months ago. But we need to, we're gonna have to vote on it in May, but we don't need to wait till May 19th for him to start. We need to put him to work. If he wants to go to work.
You make your commitment. You gotta do that.
We want to get the commitment out of 8 commissioners, and I'll call some others to get the commitment, but TVA's held us up for 2 months down there, and we're ready to go. And he is too. I talked to him today. I talked to Chuck. He's ready to start May the 1st, he said. I will send the contracts to y'all in the morning, every one of them. Please look at them.
Okay.
It's not a long contract, pretty simple. Please look at it.
Just real quickly, we can just go back to the take Rachel and I'll talk today about certain things like non-operating expenses, the one-time purchase. Doesn't need to be a part of our budget.
Right.
It needs to be taken out and put in.
They're of a pretty decent amount.
Yeah, and we
That's
got
our
run
original
several this
budget.
year that don't need to be in that budget.
Right.
That's number one. The other one, we were talking about grants. Grants don't need to be in the budget. She said they need to be separate.
The matching part. So our auditor, again, is just working to improve our overall budget. And that's what, you know, if it's a capital project, like our courthouse renovations, like our $100,000, it needs to go in a capital project. So if we have an air conditioner unit, we can put that in 172. There's a roofing purchase, 172. And that helps identify and track it.
Yeah, that's where the impact comes in. You stick $100,000 in 172, and he comes and he needs another air conditioner.
When we start going through the budget, the final time, we need to think about that in the items.
Yeah.
Is it like a one-time purchase? We need to take it out.
That works. Sounds logical. All right,
This is not our thing. Our auditor's pushing us to do this.
Yeah.
She is pushing to do this. Things are changing in the state, whether you like it or not.
Well, we don't need to be putting stuff in there that don't spend it.
No.
Transfer it. Kids.
We've seen that over there the other night about changes, whether we like it or not, it's what it's gonna be.
It's changing.
And that's about what they told us.
All right, any other business coming for this committee? I'll stand a motion to adjourn.
You need to ask for public comment.
I'm sorry, public comments. Do we have anybody sign up?
I don't think so.
I
No.
don't think so.
Okay.
We got Howard, I think, down in the city. Finally let it eat jello with fluid and he kept it now. It didn't come up, so they said that was very positive.
Yeah, it is.
So,
All right. Anything else?
a motion, John. I'm sorry.
All those in favor, aye?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We are adjourned.
Where's that one?